Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerd started playing paintball in 2005. He started competing in 2007. In 2018, he turned pro with SD Aftermath. He's also played for Revo and X-Factor. He's joined a new team for 2024. It's the Ironmen. He's also a media guru. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Tom Guest. What's up, Tom?
What's up, guys? Not much, man. How you doing?
Great, dude. I'm great. Now that Tom Guest is a guest on my show.
Love it. Love it. I'm glad to be here.
So how did you get into paintball?
I got into paintball through my mom, which is kind of funny because she was super against anything gun related. Like no guns in the house. I'd build guns out of Lego, to get around that, found the loophole. But it was probably like my 10th birthday, and she set up, I guess, like a paintball party with me and a couple buddies. And we went out there to Barry Paintball, my local field, played some rec ball. I remember being like terrified. I don't even know if I was 10. I might have been 9. And they let me sneak in. But yeah, played there, and kind of like everybody else's story, I was just hooked and tried to get back out there as much as I could. And yeah, that kind of kicked it off, and I've just been playing ever since.
How does your mom feel about paintball now?
She loves it. For a while, there's a little bit of, I guess, like skepticism about like what this is all about, but she's kind of seen like the places it's taken me, and I've met a lot of the people that I've met through paintball, and can definitely see like the value that it's brought to my life. So she's fully supportive of it. Yeah. Hasn't been to tournaments yet, but one day I'll get her there.
Yeah. So where has paintball taken you?
Dude, all over. I'm in Canada, and for the longest time I played like the local league CXBL, but I've been all over to Europe. I played a couple of the Millenniums. I was lucky enough to do that. Played for teams in San Diego, in Texas. Traveled all over the States. It's been great.
What European events have you gone to?
I played Paris, and I can't remember where the other one was.
I've never been to Paris.
Yeah, it was sweet. Got to sneak around the city a little bit, go check out the Eiffel Tower, do all the touristy stuff really quick. It was really cool to see.
Right on. So how did you get involved in competitive paintball, from like a rec dude in 05 to competing 2 years later?
Yeah, so like shortly after, maybe a year or so after I played for the first time, I was at a flea market, and a family friend was there with me, and I had a couple bucks, and I ended up picking up like a spider from some random vendor. This spider TLX, I remember it. And I got to school, and a couple kids who like I wasn't even friends with at the time were talking about paintball. And it just so happened there's a tournament coming up in like 2 weeks. And I had no idea. I had never heard of tournament paintball before. And there's a 3-man event, so they needed another guy. So I played that tournament with them and kind of like got right into it. Yeah, there was a local indoor field that we play 3-mans over the winter. And then through that field, which is with Sega Beach Paintball, so shout out to them. They're an amazing field, just like an hour and a half north of Toronto, if you're ever in Canada. They had like a factory team playing MXL, which was like kind of the semi-pro division of the CXBL. Mm-hmm. So like a year or so after, maybe a year or two after I started playing those 3-man tournaments, I went to one of their tryouts and made that team. And we went like undefeated in our first year of MXL, won the CXBL spot, and yeah, just kept ripping.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah, so, it was sick.
How does how's a dude from Canada get on a San Diego team, Aftermath?
Yeah, so throughout the years, like we did have a good group of Canadian guys, and we were playing forever under like Distortion and Rhythm, kind of like traveling the States, road tripping down to practices, doing all that. After a couple of years with Distortion, some of the guys kind of parted ways after one of the seasons, and we heard that Hinman was having tryouts for Aftermath. So myself, Frank, and David Barga, who was on Aftermath with me, went down to the tryouts and made that squad, which was wild. Flying out for tryouts and practices and things like that. Yeah.
Dreams came true, right? You became a pro player.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. It took a while. It's a little bit harder being in Canada, I think. I like to think it's tougher. We don't have any local pro teams. We maybe have one or two semi-pro teams. It's just the opportunities are a little more slim here. Yeah,
They they certainly are, dude, and I talk about it all the time, like, if you live in one of the, like, mecca states
Meccas.
for
Yeah,
professional paintball, like, Southern California, Northern California, Texas, Florida,
for
and
sure.
you aspire to be a professional paintball player, it really is your own fault, right, if you don't make it, because you have every opportunity, you have more opportunity than most. So,
100%.
guys that live in, like the Midwest where there's no pro teams, or in Canada where there's no pro teams. Like, you guys have to work at it. You have to put in the hours, you got to put in the work, you got to drive far, you got to travel far. You got to really
For
want it,
sure.
right?
For sure, man. Yeah, I think back often on like in a good way about all the crazy trips that we would take just to go to practices. Like people are always like, "Oh, like how's off season? You out playing?" It's like I'm trying to play. A lot of the indoor fields have closed down just with the economy and whatnot. But like prior to the first event, we would drive 10 hours from like the Toronto area to go to Baltimore to practice Revo, or we drive to Chicago to practice some of the Midwest guys. But even then, there'd still be a ton of snow. It's like a 10-hour drive, and we'd all pack into one SUV. Like someone would be stuck on the hump seat. Like it,
And
it
that's
was
one
pretty
way.
wild what we were doing. One way, we're all kind of like paying for our own stuff, chipping for gas, staying in one or two hotel rooms. But yeah, great
So
memories.
20
It was
hours
fun.
total driving for paintball.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, between like night shifts and stuff that I was doing, it was wild.
Dude, you're the real deal, Tom. You went after it. You got it. You wanted it, baby.
Yeah,
Love it.
man. No, it's wild thinking back. When I was young, I was like when I started, like let's say oh 05, oh 06, oh 07, like playing Greg Hastings and looking at magazines and like a lot of those dudes are still playing. Like it's wild
Yeah.
to be competing against them and to like call a lot of those guys friends. When I was young, I was so disheartened by the concept of pro paintball because I'm like, I wasn't well off. Everything is so far away. I'm like, how can I ever do this? And now, like, however many years later, like 16 years later, or something like that, we're here. Yeah,
Well, we're certainly in a moment, we're going to talk about how you made that happen, because I think there's a lot of people, younger people that are maybe in your situation that you were in 05, 06, that would like to go pro, but don't actually see the path. They don't see the roadmap. So, I think you'll be able to enlighten and encourage some of our listeners. So we'll get into that here in a moment. But
for sure.
Tom, was it all worth it?
Yeah,
Of
100%.
course. Of course
Yeah,
it is. Because you've created some amazing memories, right?
for sure. Yeah, like going pro and whatnot is exciting and like an accomplishment in itself. But like it's cliche, but the journey is what it's all about. Like just so many good times, so many awesome people. Yeah, it's been great. A lot of like my best friends, like they don't live super close to me, but like they're all people I've met through paintball. It's a weird connection. Yeah, we only get to see each other every once in a while, but they're meaningful relationships.
That's awesome. Well, tell me about a few memories for you in paintball that are just standout memories for you that really stick out.
Yeah. One that comes to mind would be 2016 World Cup win with Distortion. That was the first like kind of big national tournament that I had ever won, and that a lot of the guys on the team had ever won. I think that was significant to me because for that season we were always kind of falling short on Sunday, getting knocked out in that first game, like just always right there. And we had a really big rivalry with PC Katana, who won the pro spot that year. They would always have our number. We had a lot of great matches with them, but we matched up against them in finals at Cup, and yeah, played a great match. So did they. We ended up coming out on top, and it was just super meaningful to win that first tournament at World Cup against that team with like all my best friends. Yeah, it was mostly a Canadian team. We had Mike Kerr, who's still kicking around. He was with like Aftershock Midwest area. Barro was a American, but everyone else was Canadian. And yeah, that one will stick with me for a long time. It's important.
That's awesome, dude. A couple other players have mentioned distortion. Is there
Mhm.
anyone that currently plays pro today besides you that was on distortion?
Scott Graham and Mitch Finley, who are
That's
who
yep.
we've been reunited on Ironmen. Uh, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Garrett Baldwin was playing pro with Aftermath for a little bit, but he's taken a step back.
I heard that you helped Mitch get on the Ironman. Kind of like you wouldn't go without him.
Yeah, yeah. When I kind of stepped away from X-Factor, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I never really entered that like free agent stage of things, and obviously been talking to my friends about what I was going to be doing. And Scott Graham, who's on Ironman, was like, "Hey, like I've been talking to Billy. They're trying to make something happen. Like I'm trying to set something up so me, you, and Mitch can play together." And for me, I was like, okay, like on paper, like at the time, I was like, maybe there's better options, but what I've learned, it's about the people you're playing with. You want to be with your friends, you want to be with people you like, things like that. So that was super important to me in that decision. That really being with my friends was what made me make that move.
That's an investment in yourself, right? And when you invest in yourself, the dividends are tenfold. So you just, you made a move for your happiness. I'm into it.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people, a lot of professional paintball players, and I think there's definitely a divide within the pro ranks of like true professional players, and then the others that they're still professional, but there's a lot of people whose livelihood is paintball. That's all they have. That's all they do. I'm not knocking that at all, but like their decisions, it's going to be harder for somebody like that to make a decision based on like, oh, I want to play with these people. Like these are my friends when the check's on the line. Yeah,
For
I'm
sure.
lucky enough where I don't know. I'm good outside of paintball. It's nice getting some stuff here and there, but it's not everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's a lot of people getting their primary income from paintball.
No, they're
Is
not.
there? Yeah, it's a
Ooh,
handful,
what do you
right?
think? Like 20,
Ah, dude, I don't know if
if
it's
if
that
that.
many. Like
Yeah,
they're
that's a good.
like
That's
paying
good.
all
I
their
don't
bills.
really. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't. I don't know what a lot of people do outside of paintball. Honestly, I'm always curious. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you up to?
Yeah, me too. Because people show up at events and it's like, dude, you're taking like 4 days off. Like, what do you do for work? How do
Yeah,
they let you do
yeah.
this?
That's a
You know?
challenge, man. And that's kind of like, and I dealt with that a lot too. Like during my first year, I was kind of like doing law enforcement where I was doing night shifts. It was like this crazy rotating schedule and like making that work sucked. And now I've kind of switched over to like freelance stuff and do my own thing, which has been great. But yeah, people kind of locked into a Monday to Friday. It's going to be rough.
How about a memory that paintball has created for you that's maybe off the field?
Ooh, off the field.
Travel adventures, bar fights, you know, stuff like
Dude,
that.
yeah, that's a tough one. I'm thinking. I know there's something, but hmm.
You've had so many great memories that it's hard to pick, right?
It's honestly kind of going back to what I talked about before. It's a blur of like road trip shenanigans with my best friends. Just memories of like good times. It's hard to specifically like narrow it down to one thing. It's just like the conversations you're having on those 20-hour round trips and traveling together. And yeah, it's not the
Well,
best answer. That's what I got.
I get it though, Tom, because I mean, some of the memories that stand out for me the most are driving in a rental car with a teammate and having a conversation with them that impacted me. It's like we travel the world, but it's like these certain little seemingly insignificant memories stick out. But So where is paintball taking you in around the world?
All over the states, all over Canada. Like I said briefly in Europe, but honestly, just getting to see different areas of the U.S. is unique for me. Being from Canada, just flying over, playing national events, I'm still like always shocked and grateful for the places that I get to see. Like we get to go play in Vegas and do all that stuff, and another, I guess, like when I was young, we played Phoenix and we had the opportunity to kind of like go see the Grand Canyon and the dam and things like that, where maybe I'd make it out there. But if not for paintball, I just don't see myself like booking a trip out to Phoenix to go see the
Yeah.
Grand Canyon, not when I was like 16, 17 years old. So stuff like that. It's been awesome.
Right on. Well, who on well, I think I know the answer to this question because we touched on it, but I'll make a shout him out. Who are your favorite teammates of all time?
I got to put Mitch and Scotty up there. It's got to be like my local distortion boys. And you asked a question about who is still playing pro. Drew Guppy. I played with him like forever on like Toronto Rage, Rhythm, Distortion. He played last season with NRG and had like I think he had a phenomenal season. He hadn't played pro before. He definitely stepped up, but he's taken a year off. So I got to put Guppy in there, Ryan Dowling, David Barga, Scott, Mitch, Garrett, all the distortion guys. Yeah.
Are you gonna try and get Guppy on the Ironman when he comes out of retirement?
Oh, we've been joking about it. I don't know.
Well,
I
dude,
don't
I
know if
mean,
he'll come
those
back.
are the like if you look at so I mean, it's hard not to bring these guys up, right? When you're talking about paintball. But you
Mhm.
look at Alex and Oliver and Yosh and Ryan, and they've been playing together since they were novice. They've been playing together since the beginning, right? And that
Yeah, man.
formula it does work, right? So if if there's a group of 4 or 5 guys that can figure out a way to stay together through the ranks, that's a recipe for success. I just think it's super rare.
It is. Just life happens, man. It's tough, you know. Like a lot of those dudes that I mentioned, like they're just not playing anymore for whatever reason. Just like personal decisions, kids, work. Like, it's tough to I don't know. It's tough to manage, especially being in Canada. It's hard.
Yeah.
Very, very fortunate to have really great sponsors with Die and a lot of the teams that I've played with that have made it possible. And like X-Factor, man, like those guys take care of you. If not for these um, individuals, owners who are just super passionate about the sport, like it can't happen. So
Mhm.
I'm very grateful to all those guys.
Well, I think Tom too. Of course, you know the team owners and your sponsors help make it happen, but also think that in a way that you found a way to prioritize paintball to to carry your career. And I think what happens to a lot of guys that fall off is they either choose to or they cannot. They financially or physically cannot prioritize paintball, so they just got to get out. Life happens, right?
Yeah, and
So,
I feel like that's a little piece of advice for people kind of starting off, like not sure what they want to do. I feel like I just kind of went into a career where I was like, this is money, this will work, but I didn't really give a lot of thought at the time into what I actually wanted my life to be like. And after spending like 5 or 6 years in that career, I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm not able, I'm missing so much stuff. I love paintball. Like that was kind of like a side thing at the time. I'm like, I'm missing holidays, birthdays, paintball, all these things. Like when you're thinking about your career and what you want to do, like think about what you want your life to be and see
mhm.
if that career is going to fit rather than kind of trying to make it work after the fact.
Are you talking about your career in law enforcement?
hmm Yeah, just didn't work. It did not work.
So, how about players that you looked up to when you're coming up through the ranks? Is there anyone that you, uh, for lack of a better term, idolized or wanted to emulate?
Yeah. I feel like growing up, I was a big fan of Alex Goldman on Iron, or not on Iron Man, on X Factor. He was just like one of the younger guys at the time, super nasty back then, super nasty now, and just had like the sickest style. Shout out to Mouse. Yeah, so it's sweet to be competing against him. Definitely plays like a way different position and style than I do, but yeah, definitely was a fan. Still, I'm a fan. Yeah,
Mouse is incredible, dude. Like, and he came from the aftermath camp. A lot of really good players
yeah,
did. Did you see HK's post about the top 5 paid players?
I did. I forget who was in there. I know Mouse,
Okay.
J Rab. Who else was
Yeah.
in there?
Well, I don't know all of them, but like 4 out of the 5 dudes were from the aftermath camp. So
Yeah,
it goes to show you like
they
something
had
about the
they had a
way
sick team.
they did, dude. But also like Hinman was a beast. Like he knew how to like, you know, he knew how to cultivate a strong player. So Rainey was on it.
Yeah,
Um, see, I don't even want to
I
start
think
naming
it's
names.
changed. No, for sure. And I think like that question is so tough because like my opinion of players has changed so much over the years. It's like people who I thought like growing up, I was like, ah, like that guy isn't that good or whatever it may be, just like solely based on videos and media. I'm like, oh, like this guy is big brain, super smart. Like a lot of the guys that I guess I idolize or I'm like emulate now, they're definitely like more like cerebral players and things like that, less flashy.
Like who?
Dude, the Dynasty boys, like Yosh, Alex, Greenspan. Greenspan's up there for one of the best for sure. Just the way that they process things and think about the game is kind of next level and something that I strive to get to. When you're young, you're like you're a little bit you care a little bit more about how you look and all this crap, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like it's the decisions that you're making. It's how you view the game and it's how you break things down. That's what's important.
For sure, man. I mean, do you know who Todd Adamson is?
I do, but I don't know Todd super well. Like I'm not really familiar with his background, and yeah, shed some light on that.
Well, the reason I bring him up is because if you watch him play, like if you're just like passing by and you look at his style, like the way that he holds his gun or the way his mask is on his face, or like
Yeah,
the gap between the top of his mask and the headband, and his brain's hanging
dude.
out. You're just
I
like,
used to dog. Yeah.
he
I
looks
used to
goofy.
give Colt Rob. I used to give Colt Roberts a hard time all the time as his mask was so low. He's fixed it, so shout out Colt. But yeah, he's
Good
another one of
job,
those
Cole.
guys where it's like Colt is phenomenal,
Like,
but the
you know
mask
the
might be a
guys
bit
that wear
low.
the mask, like the strap on the back of their head like this, so like the goggles kind of like
Dude,
sticking out like this. Like I got an angle.
the top of the foam is on like the eyebrows.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then their headband is like up here, so you can see like their forehead. And there's like a
Yes.
yeah. So
If you
I
ever
mean,
see that on me, like fix me up.
yeah. Let
if
me
I
know if
ever
there's
start
like a
flipping,
bubble in my head wrap.
yeah,
So like style is important for style points, right? People say, "Oh yeah, it looks
yeah.
cool."
End of the
This and
day,
that looks cool. But at the end of the day, what matters is how many people are shooting. And anyway, Todd Adamson
yeah,
shoots a lot of people. And like he always looks like he got shot, like because he wiggles and like flinches a lot, you
yeah,
know? But then at the end of the day, like he's holding his gun down here by his leg, and then like you're looking at him, and you're looking at him, looking at you. And then a paintball comes from down here by his crotch and and hits you.
yeah.
Incredible paintball player. Watch
Doing some Jedi stuff.
some Jedi stuff, dude. Watch some old footage
What?
of him.
Okay. He was shot. He was shocked forever, right?
He was shocked, and then he was on the Ironman.
Okay. I'll have to do some homework.
Yeah. So okay, so Mouse, and then some Dynasty guys. Anyone else you want to mention?
I just shout out Steven on my team to Steven O'Mara. I played a tournament with Revo a couple of years back at a World Cup during COVID. I snuck out of work. My boss helped me kind of cover for it. And yeah, I think we got like fifth. We did great. But yeah, I played with Steven in the past in the CXBL, and seen him play a lot in NXL, and I think he's a phenomenal player and someone I'm glad is on my team. He's just wily, aggressive. Yeah, I'm super excited to be playing with that guy. He's a beast.
He got you guys kicked out of ASG, huh?
He did, but it could have that could have happened to anyone.
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw him at the airport after that practice, and the first time I ever talked to Steven, and I didn't know like how stoic he was. Like very like his emotions are hard to read. Like he like just like kind of like you know what
Yeah, I
happened,
think
man?
yeah, a lot of people I feel like have mixed reviews on him, but I love him. He's a great dude. I think I don't know. He's definitely a presence when he plays, and that might rub some people the wrong way. But I've had the opportunity to like spend some time with him outside of paintball, like hang out. And, yeah, he's a competitor. He just wants to win.
Yeah. So I guess he had an argument with Wayne, or was not an argument, was exchange. They were exchanging words, and Omara ended up laughing. And then
Yeah.
Wayne was like, "You're out of here." So I was going back to the field, like when he was being escorted out, and then I saw the ref cut off his wristband, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, Steven just got kicked out." And then I went back and I was doing an interview in the parking lot, and it was like 20 minutes. And then so after the 20 minutes, I went back to the staging area, and all the Ironmen were gone. I'm like, "What just happened?" Like, "Oh yeah, they got kicked out." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, it
Trouble.
was one of those things. I don't know what happened first. Like they tried to kick us all out because they said we were making fun of their players or something like that. But we kind of had a chat after a couple minutes. We're like, nah, like if they're gonna do that, we're not doing this. Like if Steven's gonna be out there waiting in the parking lot, like they want to do that to him, like we're all out. We had been
Yeah.
there for a bit. We got our reps in and just it was an interesting practice. But yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like you guys got kicked out. It was like a minor incident happened, and you're like, we're gonna hang out as a team. Like if it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us.
Yeah. So what happened? There was like a there's a crazy point. A bunch of people traded. We thought the point was over. Like people in our pits were like, "Yeah, like good shot to Mitch." Mitch was the last guy alive. Shot a guy who ran down our Drudo guy, and it was still a one-on-one. But everyone like thought the point was done. Even Mitch, because everyone was like, "Yeah, good shit, Mitch." Blah 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 in the pits. Steven was on the side, and he was like, "Mitch, like get your gun up," because Mitch is kind of just like walking down the field, like, "Is this still going on?" And that's when like the owner was like, if you say something again, like you're out of here. And
Oh,
Steven's just like, dude, laughed. And that's what got us kicked out. That's the story.
well,
It
I,
happens.
I
I don't
guess
know if there were like comments made before that or what, but that's just like what it boiled down to. And yeah, I don't know. You never know.
yeah. I mean, I've heard that that can happen at ASG. Like people can get kicked
Yeah.
out for upsetting Wayne, and it's his field, so I guess he
Yeah.
can he has the power to
His
do that.
rules.
Yeah.
You cut the
So
bands. But yeah, it's good. We've got another practice coming up in like 2 weeks. We're flying to New Orleans to practice the Hurricanes guys, which I'm super
oh, nice.
excited for. Yeah, they seem like a great group of guys. They always perform well at tournaments. Seem like they take things very seriously. So that'll be new. I've never been to New Orleans. There's another place that paintball is bringing me, so I'm excited for
There
that.
you
It'll
go.
be a good practice.
Awesome. Well, Tom, you got any cool stuff to show us?
I do.
I figured you.
So before our last practice, I reached out to Buddy Bauer at Freeflow. I played for Buddy on Rhythm for years, and I was on their site and I saw this gun that's just out of camera here. I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, like, how can I get a hold of one of these?" Chatted really quick, and he ended up doing me up one of these Freeflow pipe DSRs. So
Oh,
essentially, it's the normal DSR, but completely milled down. So I'm not sure the weight difference, but it's just like super sleek and low profile. There's a Ironman kit in it and the Freeflow bolt. And yeah, this thing is insane. I'm super
I
excited to
really
have it
want
because
those.
I never get custom guns, and like gloss black is my thing. So I'm super excited to have this thing, and yeah, put it to work.
Dude, DSR shoots so freaking good, dude. It's like, have
Yeah,
you ever shot a dye
that's
gun
crushing it.
prior to that?
A which
A dye gun? Is this your first
a
dye gun?
die? No, no. I've had a lot. Yeah,
Okay.
it does shoot. It does shoot similar to like the older spool style. If
Yes, that's what I'm
that's
all
what
about, dude. Like that
I just like the
thumpy little.
simplicity of this. Yeah,
Yeah, and like you can get blown up in that gun and just wipe it down easy because just there's like no like little grooves and stuff.
yeah. It's
So
just simple, simple.
um,
After I got
put
it
in
done, I was like, maybe I should have went a little crazier with the ano, but I'm happy with the gloss black.
put in a word for me with Bauer so I can get one.
Gosh, yeah, I've had a few people. I've had a few people trying to get this already. I'm like, nah, this one's staying. I don't really keep
I don't
guns,
think
but I'll
like
keep
you
this one.
can't really buy them, right? Like they're hard to get.
I went on the website recently, and they don't even have these on there anymore, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah,
Dang. Cool. That's a cool item. You got anything else to show us?
well, this is a cool one. It's a little. It's a headband I got from Ollie Lang himself. He came out to practice us with X-Factor before World Cup like 2 years ago. Got to chat with him. Never met him before. Obviously, growing up, everyone idolizes Ollie Lang. Everyone knows who he is. So it was cool to kind of chat with him, and gave me some props about a couple points, which was cool, and tossed me this headband. So that'll
Let
be
me see.
sitting here for a while. Got a Hormesis band, so I didn't even show it well. Don't know how to do. There we go.
Oh, it's got a key on it there.
Yeah,
What's
I
on
know
the tail?
nothing about what's on the tail. Nothing,
Oh, special.
I guess.
I think
Yeah,
that's the Anki or something like that. I could be
I'm not
wrong.
that guy. I don't know.
Who
I
cares, right?
rock
It came
like
from Oliver
this. I
Lang.
rock the headband I rock is something like there was this company that they'd buy your old paint or they would give you credit. So we had a bunch of paint when we were playing divisionals, and we gave it to this company. And as a joke, I got this ridiculous headband that I've worn since like 2015, 2016. That's my go-to. It doesn't look lame anymore, but it did.
You wore it into looking good.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna make it work. Yeah,
Is there anything that you wish that you kept that you got rid of?
cool. I'm sure. Wish that yeah. I when I was the first PSP tournament I'd ever went to was in I think 2007, and me and two buddies. I was like 15. We flew over there just to watch. We weren't even playing. It was at Fantasy of Flight, the sickest venue, and we watched the finals, and it was Aftermath and Avalanche, and I remember right after they came out, there was actually like a crowd, which is odd. I feel like you don't normally like see big crowds anymore, but there's a big crowd when they came out of the pits, and they're all celebrating. And Brandon Mayo tossed a jersey, and I caught it. And somewhere along the line, I sold it or gave it to a friend. I wish I still had that jersey. It was sick. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. What am I doing?
I don't
I have a lot of
know.
my old stuff though, but I'm not super like uh, sentimental about guns and things like that. I'll keep headbands, I'll keep jerseys. Everything else can go. Yeah.
Ah. Well, Tom, we talked a little bit earlier about, how you found the willpower and how you found the gumption to make it in Canada. So, what advice would you give to maybe someone in Canada who wants to be pro doesn't see the roadmap?
I think right now in this day we have the unique opportunity to kind of showcase yourself through media. Like if you can't afford to get out to like combines and things like that, or like BKI camps, or just if you can't get out to where these American pro teams are located, showcase yourself, if you think you have what it takes, get your buddy to film you, like put together some mixes, like, try and build up your online presence that way to try and make some connections. I think that's a great way to do it, whether it be through like YouTube or Reels. Just I follow people all the time through Instagram because I see them making really cool content. I'm like, oh, this guy's got some swag, he's got some style, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Like, yeah, I'll give him a follow. I always want to see more paintball content. So I think that's kind of like a step in the door. But the big thing is like connections. I think kind of following off of that, like today's social media age, like you're able to connect with players like instantly. And I think that a lot of pro players and like high caliber semi pro players are more than willing to answer your DM and answer any questions you may have. It's just like make relationships that way, friendships, branch out from your group, and yeah, just make friends because you never know what opportunities will come from that.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that is well, I'll tell you, that's powerful advice, and that is the first time that I've asked that question and someone's answered with that answer. I get a lot of, go find players that are better than you and, let them kick your ass and, work hard, practice a lot, play a lot of paintball. But you're the first person who said, you know, market yourself. And that's genius. Like you have the
Yeah,
ability to be seen by all the pro paintball players if you market yourself. So I think that's excellent advice, especially if you live in an area where you can't get exposure to actual pros on the actual field.
yeah.
It's
I
great,
think
man.
everybody know like that advice. Everyone knows like your skills have to be there. Play against better people. Play as many tournaments as you can. But at a certain point, like you're a little bit landlocked here. So that's just one thing you can do to kind of to separate yourself. Like have people know who you are. Because no one's gonna
Yeah.
pick you up. It's just like, hey, I'm Bob from Canada. Like, can I come out and play? They're gonna be like, what? If they've seen some of your stuff, they kind of know who you are, what you're about. They might give you a shot. Yeah,
That's so true. Like you look at like Matt the Gym Rat, like he has a huge following on YouTube and TikTok. And it's like, maybe he's not a pro caliber player yet, but someone's gonna give him a look, right? Someone
for
might give him a
sure.
look because of his
Yeah.
following. Great advice, Tom. Awesome. So how do you want to be remembered in paintball?
Never really thought of that. I don't know. I think I'd like to be remembered as just a fierce competitor, someone who always did everything they could to win. I feel like I'm a little bit quieter than some guys on my team and whatnot, but um, I'm super hungry and I don't know, fiery, and I kind of lost my train of thought there.
Well, it's a hard question to answer because it's kind of like an egotistical question, right? Like, how do I want to be
Yeah,
remembered? Like, do I want to be remembered? But we all do, I think it's just harder to articulate how we
for
would like
sure.
to be.
Yeah, I'll have
So,
to lay in bed tonight and think about a better response for that one.
for episode 2, right?
Yeah, yeah, we'll come back to that one.
Well, Tom, what are you most thankful for that paintball has given you?
Unlike that last answer, I think this one's probably going to be a little bit more common, but just the relationships and the friendships from paintball. Like, yeah, like I said before, a lot of the people that I play with and have played with, like guys on X-Factor, like I talk to Meter every day. I talk to like LJ all the time. People on different teams who they live super far away. We still have really strong relationships, and like I'm very grateful for those. Yeah, like it's tough, man. As you get older, like life creeps in, work creeps in. You don't have a lot of time to maintain those relationships. But the great thing about paintball that it's given me, it's like every once in a while you kind of get to go, like you're forced to go hang out with your friends. Whereas in other aspects of life, like there might be some social gathering that you feel a little bit tied to going to, but not like paintball. You're not committed. Yeah, so every once in a while you go, you have a sleepover with your buddies, shoot some people, and have a great time. So the relationships,
I love it.
100%.
You know, you kind of look like Meter.
I'll take
You ever
it.
hear that? You guys ever hear that?
Nah.
Could be cousins, you know?
Yeah, it could
Awesome.
be.
Well, hey, Tom, dude, thank you so much for your time here. Killed it. I really appreciate you. Is there anything that you want to part with for the paintball community?
Yeah, I guess just a quick shout out to the sponsors, Die Paintball, and to Billy Wing for putting everything together this year with Ironmen and kind of like trusting us to build something new and to compete. Shout out to New Balance. We just got set up with that sponsorship, so we're going to be rocking the fresh New Balance cleats. Buddy Bauer, Freeflow, Vulcan, the paint that we're going to be shooting this year. Yeah, just keep having fun, make more content. Yeah, that's what I got.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Thank you to PB Nerd. Nah.
I want to thank your person in the other room.
My wife. Yeah. Okay. You can't put me on that one. Yeah, thank you to my significant other for putting up with me in paintball because it takes a toll on relationships for sure. You need to make sure that whoever you're with supports your dreams and what you love, and she does that.
Awesome.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
That was to my wife, not you.
Oh, damn it. Thanks, dude.
No problem.